Hi, my name is Dave Girzadas. I'm the Dean of Advanced Manufacturing at Richard J. Daley College. Welcome. I'd like to introduce Julie McCarthy, our Director of Career Services.
Thank you, Dave. Hello, everybody. It's a great pleasure to talk to everybody today. I work closely with Dave, and I work with students to help them get ready to apply for different jobs. So you're going to hear about some wonderful opportunities through our MTEC Pros. I can help students with their resumes. I can help them prepare for their job interviews and just kind of think about their overall goals and career plan in general. Thank you.
Hi, welcome to MTEC Pros. I'm going to introduce a new MTEC Pro, Jeff Rutter from CITGO Petroleum Corporation. My name is Dave Girzadas. I'm the Dean of the Advanced Manufacturing Program at Daley College. Welcome, Jeff. If you want to introduce yourself, please.
Thanks a lot, Dave. Yeah, I'm Jeff Rutter. I'm the labor manager here at CITGO Petroleum Corporation's refinery in Lamont, Illinois. I've been with the company, CITGO Petroleum, a little more than 40 years. And although I've worked in HR for the past 30 years in the field of labor relations, I started out with the company as a carpenter and doing carpentry and insulation work as my predominant job. So I've grown with the job and grown with the company. And
Yeah, that's a good sign. That's great for our students to know that there's a progression and people can have a career at a company like yours. That's really, really good to know. Jeff, I'm going to start a video that is basically a drone view of your refinery in Lamont, and then we can continue to talk if you don't mind. So go ahead, you can tell us what we're seeing, and then I'll ask questions if there's a little break.
Yeah, so I mean, our refinery is big. In this video, you're gonna see a good portion of our site. The building with the CITGO Petroleum Corporation sign, that's the administrative building where I work, right there, the first one. And as you zoom in, it passes up our laboratory and then our operations control center and our maintenance building. And then in the background is the refinery. This refinery is on about 1,000 acres. We're located south of Lamont and east of Romeoville and north of Lockport, just off of I-355. And each one of the groups of equipment that you see them separated into groups. Those are called process units, and each process unit does something different to the carbon molecules. And so at the end of the day, we take crude oil and we turn it into gasoline. That's our primary function here. So this, I assume the drone footage is gonna run while we're talking about some.
Yeah, we can do that. Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And what kind of skills do students need? What kind of roles would students starting out be filling at a impressive facility like this?
So, you know, we're not currently hiring into any of the roles, but we do often. We currently hire maintenance technicians. We're going to be hiring maintenance technicians in the coming months. We'll be seeking experienced instrumentation, electrical, and heavy craft technicians. On the operations sides, and those are the people who actually run the units that you're looking at, we hire operations technicians, about 10 or 15 per year. The candidates typically have some hydrocarbon processing experience or an associate's degree or a certificate in process technology. So I'll talk a little bit about the hiring process later on in the interview.
Okay, very good. And I see a lot of piping and looks like probably pumps and valves and things like that. So for a process technician, what might they be doing on a day-to-day basis? Are they adjusting to try to maintain temperatures and flows?
Yeah, so you know the process technician's main job is they control the process. So the operators work outdoors. They work all year long outdoors. We run 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. They control the process variables, the pressures and temperatures and flows and levels in the various equipment by turning valves and reading gauges and starting and stopping pumps and adjusting the flow of materials in the process. And then in the end result is we produce gasoline to run your car.
Mhm. And you're primarily loading rail cars or tanker trucks?
So transportation is mixed. We use, most of our product is shipped via pipeline. We do transport some via barge on the Sanitary and Ship Canal. And we have 2 rail lines, one on the east and one on the west of the plant. So we have 3 railroad loading racks. And then we have 2 truck racks. So it's all of the above: trucks, barges, rail cars, and underground piping.
Okay, very interesting. And that's why you see all of that complexity with the water area, the rail car, as well as the truck docks in
Yes.
this video. Very interesting. How do you bring new employees up to speed once they do come on board?
So when we start a person, you know, we have, you know, there's a hiring process, and as soon as the hiring process is over, we have about a 10-week orientation to teach them the basic blocking and tackling, right? The essentials they need to know to work safely in the refinery. And then they begin learning these complex pieces of equipment that you can see in these images. It takes years to master the details of these processes. We'll get a person from new hire to the first level of knowledge where they can actually begin functioning and begin adding value to the company in about 6 months. They're working shift, they're performing some duties on their shift in the refinery.
Very good. I think I'm going to stop the video and we can continue our discussion.
Okay.
And stop the sharing. There we go. So a couple questions about the application process, the hiring process. Do you want to speak a little bit about that? And if somebody's interested in this, how do they follow up? And do they go to a website? How does that work?
So yes, that's the only way a person is going to get in, is by going to www.citgo.com. And there's a careers button within that website, and they will follow the prompts, and it asks you, where are you seeking a job? We have refineries in Louisiana and Texas, and our headquarters is in Houston, and we have a lubricants manufacturing facility in Cicero, Illinois. So there are a lot of job opportunities throughout the country, Oklahoma City, Linden, New Jersey. And so the person selects the location they'd like to work and the type of job they'd like to work in, and the application's right online.
Oh, very good. Very good.
That's the only way to apply.
Okay. And the Cicero facility, you mentioned that. Is it kind of the same structure in terms of process technology and maintenance technicians that you spoke about?
So the Cicero is primarily a packaging facility for you know, the cans of oil that you would buy at Walmart or Farm and Fleet. That's where those are packaged.
So are they a customer of this refinery taking product and then repackaging it?
No.
Or is it coming from somewhere else?
It comes from somewhere else.
Okay.
Yeah. Those are lubricant oils. We don't specialize in those here.
Very good. Okay. Makes sense. All right. So one last question. What do you like about working for CITGO that a new candidate would help them make a decision to follow up?
You know, obviously pay and benefits are important. You know, that's why we all work, right? So they're very fair, and they take very good care of their employees. But more so than that, what makes this a good place to work is the people. I've stayed because I have the honor of working around some of the most talented and brightest people, and the resources that they have presented to us are outstanding. I think it's also important to talk a little bit about, if you don't mind, David,
Yeah.
I can add, There are some certain skills that are critical and most important for a person to have when they come into our workplace. Safety orientation is essential.
Mhm.
Every single person who works here is an integral part of safety. So safety needs to be a part of every decision, every move that that person makes. If a person has a tendency to get injured, they're probably not going to do well here. If they get in car accidents, they're probably not going to succeed here. And people need to take responsibility for their own actions. And we believe that every accident is preventable. So safety orientation is number one on that list of attributes that are going to make a person successful here. Another is attention to detail. We don't have room to make mistakes here. We have procedures and they need to be followed and it needs to be perfect. And we expect a lot. We pay our employees very well, but we expect a lot of them. So attention to detail is essential for a quality employee. Clear communications. People communicate over the radio and in safety meetings and talking about work instructions. Poor communications can result in catastrophic consequences. So clarity is critical. Teamwork, people work in small groups of 2 and 3 people. Leadership, initiative. You know, we run this plant 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The operations technicians need to be trustworthy self-starters who will do the right thing all the time, even when nobody's watching. Analytical skills, problem solving, and the work schedule is also an important thing to remember. 12-hour shifts, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. When it's Christmas Day, there are people here working. And so this is a tough business. They're outside all year long. It's cold in the winter and hot in the summer, but it's a great job and a great place to work. So I thought it was important to kind of talk about those attributes of a successful person.
Oh, yeah. And that's what this is really for, to let our students know what's important for working with a major employer like yourself and what skills are important. And it's interesting, those are a lot of the soft skills that we talk about. We hear so much. We try to build into our programs. And that's the first thing that you're mentioning: safety, communication, teamwork, work ethic type skill set for the employees. So thank you for going through that detail.
I do want to add one more thing that I think is really an important resource for the candidates who might want to apply here. We go through a pre-employment testing process with a company called STANG, S-T-A-N-G, and they're out of the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. And when we conduct pre-employment testing, STANG does online testing for the candidates. And there are multiple aspects that they're looking for. It's many of the things that I just went through that they're looking for in the test. But there's a test prep program that candidates can go through before they take that test. And it costs $19 and you pay STANG. We're not involved in it, but it's at ststestprep.com. ststestprep.com.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Students can do some pre-work in preparation of taking the actual test. Yeah.
Right.
Well, Jeff, thank you very much. Very informative. It was great to see your facility with that exciting drone video. And thank you for being an MTEC Pro. And I'm sure we're going to have some very interested students through watching and listening to you.
Thanks, David. And thanks to your students for taking the time to take a look at CITGO and what we stand for. We have a lot to offer.
Thank you, Jeff.
All right.